Hey everybody! Woohoo! It is a cold, frigid day in Texas. It is cold here. It's like 20 something degrees, I think. Let me check the weather. But welcome to my channel. I'm the infamous Kiki. Welcome to my channel. I watch shows live. I do TV show reviews, movie reviews, pop culture, whatever I feel like. It's 21 degrees here in the great state of Texas. We had some snow the other day. It's Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas, everybody. I promised you videos. I'm doing videos. I'm on vacation. I'm doing lives. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Make sure you smash that like button. Please smash that like button. Because that's how people discover my videos. I, like the title says, I'm gonna do a review of Avatar the Way of Water. I've seen it twice. I've seen it in 3D twice. I saw it Tuesday and I saw it yesterday. And we're gonna definitely gonna be spoilers. I'm not gonna try to spoil it too much, but it's definitely gonna be spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, go watch the movie. Come back here and watch my review. Or if you just don't care and you plan to see the movie, I try not to spoil it too much. I just try to give the synopsis of what the plot is and catch y'all up. But I don't want to spoil like the ending and all that. Like I'm not gonna spoil the ending for you guys. So I will be doing a review of Glass Onion probably tomorrow. Maybe I may be doing a review of Glass Onion. And I'll definitely do a non-spoiler. I mean, I'll touch on certain things, but I don't want to spoil. It's a murder mystery, so I don't want to spoil the mystery of the movie, and just in case you want to watch it. So, in this review, we're going to touch on things in the movie, outside the movie, Hollywood. We're going to talk pop culture things, social issues, and all that. So, if you're not ready for that, then I don't know what to tell you. I try not to make this video not too long, not too long-winded. I'm trying. I'm trying not to make it too long or too long-winded, but we'll see where the spirit takes me. I don't write a script for my videos like some people do, or have like notes or outline. I just kind of go with the flow and where my mind kind of takes me, and I like to do it off the cuff. That's what I prefer. So sorry if this video may, tend to get a little bit long-winded. Anybody that comes in here, drop a like, say hi. If you agree or disagree, make sure you leave a comment. If you've seen the movie, tell me what you think. What do y'all think about this movie? Um, but first we're gonna get into this movie. Now, the first Avatar came out in 2009. It's James Cameron. James Cameron is a world-renowned director. He did Terminator. He did Titanic. He did True Lies. He basically did a bunch of movies that I really love. I love all of James Cameron's movies, especially Terminator. I am a huge Terminator fan. If you don't know, I love sci-fi. I love fantasy. Y'all, if you watch my channel, you know that. But I'm a huge Terminator fan. So to me, James Cameron, even though he has a reputation of being kind of a dick, kind of a jerk, which is true, I still really, really love his writing and directing and producing choices. Now, the last Terminator movie, Terminator Genesis, I don't know. That last Terminator movie that he did, where they went back and killed John Connor. I didn't approve of that choice. I thought that was a choice, but it's something that I didn't. I enjoyed the movie, but I want to see. I've seen all the Terminator movies, but I know Terminator Salvation. You have things with the timelines, and there's comics. Terminator is very convoluted, so you can always go back and redo shit and just be like, oh, it's a different timeline. So I wish that they would come back and do, a different type of Terminator movie. What? I don't know. But anyway, I digress. So 2009 Avatar comes out. It was a phenomenal. Let me tell y'all, for those who weren't around then, or maybe were too young to really realize, in 2009, Avatar was a big, big deal. People were lined up around the block for this movie. This is the first time like they had a 3D movie with these awesome, really visuals. And if you go and watch, if you have Disney Plus, they have the original Avatar on Disney Plus. It still holds up. Like it still hits. It still holds up. The special effects, still holds up today. But if you know Avatar's, I haven't seen the first one in a long time. My kids have not seen it. They want to go watch it. But it's basically the story of this planet called Pandora. And there are these indigenous people who live on this planet, and animals and everything. And the earth itself is dying. The earth is a hot mess. And so they found this planet called Pandora and established colonies. And they're basically strip mining the planet for its resources. And eventually, they are trying to bring his resources back to Earth, and then eventually probably live on Pandora. But they find a lot of resistance by the Navi. And Navi are the indigenous aliens that are on that planet. So there is a man by the name of Jake Sully who comes to the planet with the military. He's like a Marine. There's Marines that are there. There's scientists are there, just like the normal colonizer bullsh. So he comes there, and they have a thing called why it's called avatars, because they have the human technology has made it to where they can build a body that looks like the indigenous, the Navi, and where you can download your consciousness, your brain, your thoughts, your memories into this avatar body, so they're able to walk around the planet, and look like a native, and not, and because the Navi are taller, stronger, able, so they use to be able to download the consciousness into the Navi to work the land and to do bigger things, because the avatar body is taken from Navi DNA and a little bit of human DNA, but mostly Navi DNA. And they can download your brain, your consciousness, your thoughts permanently into this body if you wanted to. But the scientists just use it as a way to explore uh, the planet of Pandora. And so there's Jake Sully, and he's a military guy, and he gets, he downloads you can go back and forth, you download your mind into this avatar. So just like an avatar, like in a video game. And so he spends time among the indigenous people, falls in love with one of them, sees how the humans are doing the Navi and destroying their ecosystem. And basically, his human body, he realized that he wants to be with the Navi. And I believe in the movie, I think his human body does get killed. I'm not really quite sure. And they have to permanently transfer him to a body, but he decides to stage like this revolutionary, this uprising to get the human beings off of Pandora. And so they eject the humans. They rise up and then inject the humans. So come this movie, this takes place 12 years, 12 years, just like in real time, 12 years into the future, where Jake Sully is now married to his Navi mate, and and he's living his best life. He has kids now. He's raising a family. Like I said, I think it's longer than 12 years, because his oldest son, he seems like he's about 15, 16. But I don't know how Navi biology, like, I think they age faster. I think, I'm not quite sure. But his oldest looks like he's about 15. I seem about 15, 16, maybe 17. And I think the other one is probably like 15. So he's living his best life, you know, with his wife and kids. And then eventually, of course, human beings, they come back. So the human beings come back to Pandora, and of course they tear shit up, because that's what humans do. And they have different plans this time. And I'm not going to ruin it. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to spoil that part. But they come back and they bring their colonizer ways to destroy the planet. And then Jake uses the Navi to stage raids and blow up their trains and their ships, just like an insurgency would, to try to get the human beings to either leave or to halt their efforts in trying to colonize this planet. And so then there's an enemy he has in the first movie that actually comes back in the second movie, and I won't spoil how this person comes back. But if you remember the Marine, the Stephen Quach or Quadich, his last name is weird, but he comes back in this movie, and once again Jake has to fight for not only, he's fighting for his survival. So he's not really fighting for the Navi per se. He's really fighting for the survival of his family, because Stephen Quadich, or whatever to do his name, the bad guy from the first movie, he is determined to capture Jake and ruin his insurgency, and capture his children and use children as a pawn, the way to get to him, to get to Sully. So that's pretty much the plot in a nutshell. So things happen. Like I said, I'm not trying not to spoil it. Things happen on the way. You really get to spend time with Jake's children, and People said that in the same actors that played it are in this movie before. So you got Zoe Saldana, you got the guy that played Jake Sully. I forgot his name. His name escapes me. The same guy that played the evil dude, Stephen Lang. I know Stephen Lang. Stephen Lang started in this other show called like Earth 2 or something. He started in a show that I loved, and I loved him in. And he's always fun, and I think he stole the movie. He always gets the best lines. Like the bad guys usually get the best line, but in Avatar, Stephen Lang gets the best line being the bad guy. And they have kids, they have great actors. You know, a lot of this was shot with mocap or motion capture suit. If you don't know what that means, where they wear this tight suit and they have like little things all over it and they track their bodies because most 90% of the movie I would say was CGI. I can't wait for the behind the scenes of how they made this movie. For y'all people who don't know, I'm a digital artist. Okay. I am nothing like anywhere these people do special effects and stuff like that. I don't do special effects. I guess you would say I would do like concept art because there's a concept artist and then there's special effects people that bring the concept art to life. These people who have done these special effects in this movie is beyond anything that we've ever seen. So they've had time. They've been doing this movie for a long time. I mean, this movie's been in the making about 5 years. There will be sequels to this one. There's supposed to be 5 movies altogether. Apparently, they've already filmed the 3rd movie. They filmed these movies back to back concurrently. Apparently, they've already filmed the 3rd movie, and they have to go in there and, you know, clean everything up, do the special effects, and that takes a long time. And then they have a release schedule with Disney. So apparently, they've already filmed 2 and 3 back to back. So we're just waiting for 3 to come out. I think it's scheduled to come out in 2025. Good morning. Good morning, GSP. So happy to see you here. Make sure you smash that like, ma'am. But good morning, good morning. I'm just getting started talking about Avatar: Way of Water. So there will be a 3rd one. It will come out in next year. I think 2023 or 2024. I don't know. I don't know about 4 and 5. They haven't filmed 4 or 5 yet, but he filmed 2 and 3 for sure. Definitely back to back. So this movie was good. The special effects are dazzling. For those people, like I said, who don't know, I'm a digital artist. Water is the hardest thing to do when it comes to digital effects. It is the hardest thing to get down. It is the hardest thing to light, hardest thing to shade, hardest thing to animate, hardest thing to duplicate. I watched the first movie and I was really intensely into the plot and watching it. The second time I watched it around, I was really looking at the special effects and I'm thinking like, these people ain't real. That's not real. That's not a real person. There's one human person named Spider, and he's raised on the planet, and he's raised with the Na'vi. And really think like through most of these scenes, the only person that's real is the kid that plays Spider. So either this kid is a phenomenal actor, or he was directed phenomenally, or something. Because to think that he is literally on set wearing a loincloth through the whole movie, getting wet, interacting with things that aren't there. Like when you interact, I mean, there's the people in the mocap suits that he's interacting with, but and he's a young man. Like this dude who played Spider, I don't know his name. I gotta look him up, but he is very attractive. He's a cute, attractive kid. He looks like, he's in his late teens. The character he plays is supposed to be like, 17, 18. But the idea that this kid throughout the whole movie is, first of all, he's in a loincloth. So I know he was cold and half naked. Then you got to think that the whole movie he's interacting with things that aren't there. But his acting is good. His physicality is good. I know they had stunt doubles and everything, but this kid really had to like climb and move and act, So the acting from him, I think that was understated and not really recognized. But that kid give a kid a round of applause, because I don't know. He's a new actor. He's a young actor. I got to look him up. I don't know what he's been in before, but I haven't seen him in anything before. But the idea that this kid is half naked for the whole movie, and he's interacting and emoting and feeling things and picking up things and lifting things, and that shit ain't there. That they pretty much had him lift up sandbags and but the emotion that he showed and on his face and the face acting that he did was phenomenal. And I think that a lot of people ain't really talking about how phenomenal that this kid was on a set, who didn't have that much experience acting, but did such a great job as being the only human really there, amongst other humans, but he was in so many other scenes that you're just like, I really step back and be like, wow, he really talking into nothing. Like he's really like doing lines and talking to nothing. And that's a hard thing to do from what I've learned, as an actor, is to act, some actors have a problem with blue screens and mocap suits and all of that stuff you got to think is not there. That these actors, all the actors did a great job. Zoe Saldana acted her ass off. The way she showed emotion, grief, or whatever, how they animated her, her face, the face of the Navis, the way they animated matched the actors. And so it's not just about the special effects, but it's about the physicality of the actors and the voicing. The voicing of these characters and these acting is on point. Like I said, I give them kudos to everything. The first Avatar was on point, but this one was even more amazing. To think that all this water probably doesn't exist. Yeah, it takes a good actor to act alone. It takes a good actor to sit there and just talk to nothing and emote and cry and be emotional and react. And there's a lot of action in this movie. There's a lot of physical action in this movie. So not just spaceships and special effects and the military, but there's a lot of physical acting in this movie. So I cannot wait for the behind the scenes for this. And I can't wait to see how they did the special effects. It was done by Weta. And Weta is world renowned. They've done Marvel movies. They've done Star Wars. Weta's been around for about 15, 20 years, and they've done special effects they getting paid. And they and the team doing the special effects, the head of the special effects, they put his name like right underneath James Cameron. Boom. Then the guy who did the special effects, his name was up there too. And I said, yes, because I watch, if you don't watch Corridor, Corridor is a channel that is on YouTube that talks about like how special effects are done. And they do it in a really fun way. And their videos are like, usually 10, 15 minutes. And they're a special effects group themselves. And it's me and my son love Corridor. So they have a website called Corridor Crew. They have like 2 different YouTube channels. Check them out, because the things that they show and how the special effects are done behind the scenes is just amazing. How hard things are. So once I've been watching Corridor since the pandemic, my son found them first, and we're both amazed at how much work, how many hours that these people have to work, how much work it takes in to just do one scene, like one little scene. You'd be like, oh, that's cool. Something that you wouldn't think about it. They'd be like, oh, it took me 7 hours. They'll have like special effects guest stars. They've had the head of Weta and other CGI effects houses. Like CGI is broken down into like different companies, and so some of them are like high tiers, some of them are mid, some of them are just getting started. And then like these movies and TV and commercials, they hire them to do certain projects, and that's how they make their money. They can pay their staff. And so it's fascinating. It's amazing to me as somebody who loves digital art, who does digital, concepts. I do digital art. So it's just amazing to me. The animation behind it is so fascinating to me. But anyway, I can go on and on about that. But Corridor, if you ever get a chance, go to YouTube, look them up. Their videos are very funny, very neat, a bunch of really smart guys who will introduce you to the concepts of CGI and the terms and the things. And then you learn about how hard it is to animate water, and how James Cameron took the thing that was the most difficult and decided to make a whole movie about water, which I'm sure drove people to fits. But apparently the movie cost like $400 million to make. I don't know if it's going to gain that money back, but it's definitely worth watching in 3D. I saw it in 3D. It's definitely worth the ticket to see it in 3D. And like I said, the lush environments of Pandora makes you want to live there, makes you want to be there. And the first Avatar, I did not go crazy over it. I did not care for the first Avatar. I thought the special effects were good, but I was like, meh, on the story and the whole concept. Maybe now, since I'm older, I get it a little bit more and I have more of a context of certain elements. So maybe now, but I enjoyed this definitely more than the first one. And so, like I said, I tell everybody, this is definitely worth the watch, worth the wait. It's 3 hours long. And my kids, look, I'm going to tell y'all something about that 3 hour runtime. Now, with previews and trailers, it's probably longer than that. It's probably like 3 hours and 20 minutes. But let me tell you, it was me, my 12-year-old, my 8-year-old, and a 7-year-old, and they only took one bathroom break. My kids were riveted. My That 3 hours goes by. That's the quickest 3 hour movie I've ever seen. I've seen a lot of long movies, 3 hours and 30 minutes, 3 hours and 40 minutes, where you're sitting there looking at your phone going, damn, how long is this movie? But Avatar, there's the way the story beats, there's always something for you to look at, something for the plot moves along seamlessly. So I appreciate James Cameron taking a what could be a nightmare of a 3 hours, and the kids didn't even notice it. They were like, boom, 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 boom. The story just follows good beats. There were a few parts in there I thought they could have trimmed a little bit, but overall, no. If my kids, I have a I had my cousin. She's a hyperactive 7-year-old. If she could sit through the whole movie and wear 3D glasses, then I feel like anybody can sit through, because she's normally hyperactive and jumping in. She sat through the whole thing riveted. Like I said, just the visuals alone will have you looking at the screen like this. You just be like, "Ooh, what's that over there? What's that over there?" Like my kids are like, "Ooh, wow, wow." The visuals alone. But the story itself, let's get into the story. I don't want to spoil the story, but I'm going to talk about elements now. This is no criticism, James Cameron. This is definitely his vision. James Cameron said that he thought up all the characters, he thought up the storyline, he thought of Pandora, he thought all of this up many years before the first one even came out. Many years, even before 2009. James Cameron, this is like his dream project. This is like his passion project. And I despite things that people said about James Cameron, if this is his passion project, then James Cameron has a really old and deep soul. Like I didn't realize in 2009 how old soul this movie is. But there's James Cameron is not reinventing the wheel. The plot points and everything, you would recognize it in different movies. It's nothing really new and inventive. Hopefully in the next one, the storyline will be more enriched and more inventive. But this story is very basic. It's very basic, bitch. It's not anything, too complicated or too hard for kids and audiences to understand. I will say the times have changed since 2009, but I'm going to get into that. First of all, I don't have any issues with the movie per se. I have issues surrounding what people have thought of the movie and things that I've read. Like I said, I subscribe to movie reviewers, and I haven't read any reviews for this movie because I try not to. I don't want to spoil anything or have a preconceived notion going in, because maybe somebody didn't like certain things and somebody did. So I don't want to be looking for it when I go see a movie. So I try not to watch reviews until after. But I do read kind of things here and there and just kind of move on. What I didn't like about, number one, there's a lot of cultural appropriation. I'm just going to say it right now. James Cameron, I love you. But the Na'vi are basically rainforest or indigenous people. When they go to the sea villages, that's pretty much Maori, Polynesian, Hawaiian, kind of a conglomerate of that. I don't know where the next movie is going to go, because they're going to have to get more people to help fight this fight against the humanity. I don't know where it's going to go, but it's definitely cultural appropriation. I mean, people have said things here and there. Nobody said this in 2009, but in 2022, people have said things here and there, because basically you're ripping off indigenous people. I don't have any issues. I don't have personally any problem with it, but some people have. And it is. And James Cameron has to realize how it looks. However, if this is his passion project and how he sees, I mean, this Pandora in this story is about environmentalism, is about whales, is about saving the planet, it's about colonization. I'm going to tell y'all right now, Avatar is the most anti-colonizer, anti-European movie I have ever seen. If this movie was done by a Black director or a woman director, it would be accused of a lot of things. That is the hypocrisy for me. That's what I'm talking about when I said in my title, the hypocrisy, not of James Cameron, but the hypocrisy of audiences and the hypocrisy of people. So I'm going to get into it right now. It annoys me that as a Black director or a Black creative, that I honestly feel in my heart that if a Black person would have made this movie, If a Native American person would have made this movie, if 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 a Hispanic person would have made this movie, they would accuse this movie of being too, oh, this is woke nonsense. But a white man can go out there and make this movie. That annoys me. That bothers me. That really, really, really does bother me. It bothers me in my spirit that even today in 2022, going to 23, that we can't make certain stories and tell our stories without being accused of or dismissed that this is just woke nonsense. I haven't heard that much about Avatar. Maybe y'all have. I have not. But Avatar, The Way of Water, is what conservatives would call woke. How is this not woke nonsense? Because this basically is. This is the wokest film I didn't seen in years. Shit, since the first one. Shit, this shit is as woke as Emmett Till. This shit is woke as anything that I've seen. Any kind of social justice warrior, whatever the fuck they want to call. All it needs is gay people. All we need is some gay navis in it. And James Cameron could get away with it. But you have to ask the question, why is he allowed to get away with it? I don't have a problem with it. I like woke everything. I like my movies that have a message. But the complaints I hear from other films, not this one, but other films, is people don't want to be beat over the head, and people don't want to be told how to think, and people don't want lessons in their movies. So what the fuck is Avatar? Huh? Because this is what this whole movie's about. This is an anti-colonizer movie. All the bad people in the movie is white. James Cameron, you did that. All the bad people is white. All the Marines and all the marine biologists and the people destroying the Pandora is white. And most of them are men. Didn't nobody notice this? My kids noticed it right away. My kids are like, all the bad people are white men. Yeah, James Cameron. Yes. Like I'm rolling. I saw the film the first time. I'm like, okay. The second I sat there and thought about it driving home. I'm going, wait. The second film, I'm like, yeah. The main evil guy is a white dude. The main biologist that are evil is a white Australian dude. The colonel chick is a white lady. It's a very male, macho military, and scene that they cut for the humans coming down to the planet. Most of them are men. I didn't see any black folks in that military. Now, I don't know if that's by design or if it's just by accident. I don't know James Cameron. I can't read his mind. But James Cameron is very anti-colonization, pro-environment, and pro-native. And if a black person made this movie, I'm going to say it again, if a black person made this movie, if a Native American made this movie, if somebody Mexican made this movie, what kind of reception would it have? With the same special effects, the same budget, everything. How would this movie be talked about? Y'all let that sink in real deep for you. I'm glad James Cameron made Angela from 90 Days in it. Yeah, she was in it. She played the villain. That's Stephen Lang's character. That Stephen Lang would have been Angela. But I'm serious. If this movie was made by somebody who was a minority, how would it be perceived? Like I said, James Cameron could put gay Navi in this movie. Would anybody say anything? But if he was a gay director putting gay people, would people have an issue? If I'm a black person and I'm making this kind of movie, what would they accuse the director and the producers and the writers of? But the writers on this movie are Caucasians. James Cameron is white. James Cameron made a very woke, anti-colonialism, anti-white, anti-European movie. And I said what I said because that's what it is. The message between all of the aliens, I'm reading between the lines, James Cameron. I see you, like they say. I see you, James Cameron. I see you. I see you. I know what he's doing. And Pandora was very much that movie. I mean, the first Avatar was very much that movie. Pandora is just a code for like an indigenous people. But the fact that this movie doesn't get that, oh, this is go woke, stay broke. No one said this about James Cameron's movie because Avatar is very woke. And I love it. I absolutely love the man. I love it. But again, and then the other issue I have to talk about, what if the Na'vi weren't blue skinned aliens and they were just black people? That's another issue that I fucking hate in Hollywood. People don't want to be preached to. People don't want, no. Let me tell you what people don't want. Let me just tell you what I say people, quotes, in quotes, people, because I'm a person and I like to hear stories about indigenous people, whether they be from Africa, India, Asia, no matter the things that they've gone through, because colonization has touched a lot of us worldwide, has influenced our culture, have influenced how we deal with each other and how we deal with each other in our own countries and our own people. Colonization, colonialism, British colonialism, American colonization has affected us all. The United States then invaded up many a fucking place. The British Empire, you know, we're not talking about slavery. That's in there too, but we're talking about colonizers. Colonization has spread, run rampant. And what you're seeing in this movie is basically the colonizers' playbook. Come there, destroy shit, fuck shit up, start building your own shit, kill off the animals, kill off the native people, subjugate the population, and move and bring your people on down in. Is that not the colonizers' playbook? Isn't that's not how it's been done? James Cameron's just breaking it down. He's taking it to an alien planet. So again, I say again, if this was taking place in South America or Africa or Vietnam, would people be like, oh my God, I don't want to see that? Because I have a feeling that when you have real people in real situations historically going through real shit and not fantasy and not green skin aliens, James Cameron knew what he was doing. He know that I'm going to tell this story, but I have to change things up, because if you make it aliens, see, people are more to be, oh wow, Pandora is so nice. We Pandora is us. Pandora is our Serengetis. It's our rainforest. It's Canada. It's the wilds of Canada. That's Pandora. That's the real Pandora. Our earth is beautiful. We're killing it. Our people, our native people, have ways and means, and the spirituality of the Na'vi, their spirituality of people here. There's the indigenous people in the Amazon forest right fucking now. They're being driven out of their homes right now. Real life Pandora. But see, you can't tell that story because people don't want realism. They want fakeness. They want to be able to be like, I want to be transported to someplace else. Great. So you want escapism and not what's going on in our planet for real. So they talk about these beautiful, majestic creatures that are just whales. They're just whales, people. They're just whales. And how they separate the mama from the herd. And do you know that's how they kill whales? But that's too real for y'all. Because y'all can't deal with, oh my God, the whales are being killed at an alarming rate. And then how they harpoon this animal, this fictional animal in Pandora, and kill it. Spoiler alert. And had my kids up there crying. My son is like, well, do you know that's how they kill whales? They get the calf and the mom, they know the mom won't leave the calf. That's exactly how they kill whales. So what are we really talking about here? So it's okay for you to shed a tear for poor Pycon, and he's an outcast, but his family got killed and he was blamed for being a killer. So it's okay for you to shed a tear for the Na'vi and their indigenous creatures and their deep spirituality and the way they relate to their planet. But we have real life people living the same way that the Na'vi are living on our planet right fucking now, that y'all don't respect and that y'all don't give a fuck about. That's the shit that gets me. That's what gets me. Yeah, they did the Native Americans dirty. They did the Na'vi dirty. That's what gets me. That's what hurts me. It's like Pandora is just a reflection of our society and our planet. That's all it is. That's all James Cameron. And for him to create movies and wrote a whole script about it. It's something that he feels passionately about. And he's putting it in a way like people say where the goats can get it, because he understands human nature. That's the genius of James Cameron. He understands that if I put dark-skinned people out here, people are not going to give a fuck. That's on y'all. That's not on James Cameron. We'll just make them blue. You think he didn't have that conversation? You think this man is not smart enough to understand what's going on? We're going to take an alien planet. We're going to make alien creatures. We're going to, instead of being black or brown, we're going to make them blue. That's not on James Cameron. That's on us. Well, yeah, he took stuff from Native American cultures and Maori. Yes, James Cameron did. But it goes deeper than that. Why did he do that? Why did he draw obvious parallels to real cultures? Not cultural appropriation, not I don't think in a racist way that people are trying to spin it to be. No, he did. I think he did it on purpose to show that, so people can draw parallels and be like, oh, this is just like native culture. These are just like the Amazons and the rainforest, down to what they're wearing, down to the braids in their hair. They got braids in their hair, y'all. The fish, the people who are in the sea, they got kinky hair and braids in their hair. And kinky hair. You think that's on purpose? Of course it was. Who got braids in their hair and got kinky hair? Native people, Black people, Africans, South Americans. Yeah. These people got curly, kinky hair. I'm sitting there, I'm like, James Cameron, I see you, brother. I see you, brother. I see you, brother. I know what you're doing. I understand it. You're not stealing. You're not doing cultural appropriation. You are trying to lead the masses to something that you cannot lead them to with human history, because they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear all the CRT nonsense. We can't talk about how we killed the Indians and Africans and killing the rain, because people don't want to hear that. Why? I have no fucking idea. That's something that y'all people out there have to soul search within yourselves. I want to hear the stories. I don't have any problem with the past. None at all. I don't have to take indigenous people and make them into blue-skinned cat aliens for me to give a fuck about people. But that's what you have to do, because that's humanity. Because we don't care. We don't care. We'll cry over, oh my God, Navi, I'm looking at people like in this theater going, are you serious? These people are a reflection of my ancestors, your ancestors, who wore loinskin cloth and braided hair and beads. But if you tell that story of brown people getting colonized, or people destroying things, or the indigenous people, Native American, how we gave them blankets with smallpox. I shouldn't say we, because hey, that's not my people. I didn't do that shit. But my ancestors, my European blood in my veins, how my slaveholding ancestors did the same. People don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear that. Why? But you want to see blue-skinned, half-naked aliens run around? And okay, y'all funny. That's not woke nonsense? Okay. That's fine. Because they're aliens. They're not real people. It's not real history. Right. Got it. Right. That's okay. So that's the analysis that I have watching this movie, that there has been no talk of this I've seen from any other channel, or nobody said anything about what to me is very glaringly obvious. I'm sitting there going, like, you had to smack me in the face, smack me in the forehead with it. James Cameron is usually smacking you in the forehead with it. And again, the narration is, well, you can't preach to audiences because people don't want to see that. Right. I don't want to hear those arguments ever again. I'm just going to bring up Avatar. Well, people don't want to be preached to. And people don't want people telling them how to think. Avatar. That's not telling people how to think. That's not preaching to people. Because it's aliens? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Like, again, if my kids can watch this and be like, oh, yeah, Native Americans. Oh, yeah, Africans. Oh, yeah, colonizers. My kids know colonizers. So my point is, what are y'all learning? What are you teaching your children? My children easily point this out and be like, yeah, okay. My kids understood that it was an anti-colonizer movie. Just like when we saw RRR, me and my son are like, oh, this is some anti-colonizer shit. My son's 12. He understands. He's like, oh yeah, I know what this is. And all the villains in Avatar are white. I'm gonna bring that up again. They all white. Go back and watch the movie. They all white. Go back and look. You see any black folks? You see any Mexicans? Any? They white. The people that came down to Pandora is white. James Cameron, obviously, again, has issues with colonizers, and he's sending a very strong environmental message to the world. And then some people is just going over their heads. Some people just don't want to face reality. But then some of us are watching this going, okay, James Cameron, okay. I see what you're doing there. RR was a phenomenal movie. But again, me and my son watched it. After 10 minutes, we're like, oh, this is some anti-colonizer shit. Taking in a historical, fanciful context. But at the end of the day, RR is an anti-colonizer movie. Like really, but at least RR is real history for them. It's real Indian history. They were colonized by the British. You know, it's not based on a true story or anything, but it's real historical context. Just played up and done in a fanciful way that all these people were like, RR is badass. And I just sit back and watch, laughing. Because I'm like, okay, RR. Let's put it in the 1800s. Let's put it in a slave. Let's make it, instead of all the British people, Southern American slave masters. One guy's a slave. The other guy, he's the overseer, because there were some black overseers who were whipping black people who got privileged positions. Let's just turn that around and make it that time period with those two men. And then we can still take them fighting oppression, fighting slavery, escaping from slavery. The guy, he's looking for his sister. They took his younger sister. She was sold to a different plantation. He escapes, goes to the other plantation to find his sister. Let's just change that around. That's how I see RRR. Let's just change the narrative. Change the country, make it slavery, 1800s. Would people have a problem with that? Him and the black overseer get together. They kick all the slave masters' ass. They set the plantation on fucking fire. They getting ready to be hanged. They escape. There's some escaped slaves staging a revolt. That is RR. Same movie, different things. Let's just change it into slaveries and slaves. Would America go for that movie? I don't think so. I don't think they would. But it's India, it's something foreign, it's something that they don't know about, that American audiences didn't live through. But if it's slavery, oh, we're not putting up with that. Oh, we don't want to see another slave movie. That's what the black people would say. And then the white people wouldn't go see it because they're like, oh, it's slavery and we don't want to hear about that. I'm telling you, this is how fucked up racism is. This is how illogical racism is. Because like I said, I can take RR in my mind. I just changed everything around in my mind, and I can redo a whole movie like that. And American audiences won't go want to see it. Why? Because to me, RR is a movie of triumph over colonialism, over oppression, them talking about their homeland and saving their country and saving their people. That's inspirational. And it was a movie that inspired them over in India. People just thought, it's just cool. Look at the special effects and the tigers. And I'm sitting there going, okay, but you do know they killing the colonizers. The special effects is cool. I'm just like, okay. Like, I'm going to need y'all to dig a little deeper, when y'all watching these movies. So I recommend Avatar. We were cheering for the Na'vi the whole entire time. We ready to fight war. We ready to get it on. We were cheering for it the whole entire time. And like I said, it is a story that has been told over and over again. The plot is not reinventing the wheel. And it's something that's very recognizable. Motherfucker, you watch Roots, you should be able to watch Avatar. I'm just saying, like, I mean, it ain't reinventing the wheel. Yeah, the piano is great. The piano is excellent. Oh, the God, the piano is so good. I love it. I love movies about real people. God knows I love my sci-fi. I love my superheroes. I love my fiction. I love my exotic worlds and exotic planets, but I also like real movies about real people doing real shit in this country. I like movies that make me think, make me go discover real things about real people. I like movies that make me challenge my own thinking, challenge my own values, challenge me intellectually. I don't just watch shit just because I want to sit here and navel gas and be like, I watch reality shows. I watch 90 Day Fiance and Love During Lockup, Love After. I watch a minimum amount of reality shows. But if I want escapism and navel gaze, I watch that kind of shit. But I don't watch. I love superhero movies. I love sci-fi. I read comics as a kid, but I like comics as a kid. The ones that I really liked was ones that had deeper meaning, that had meaning to parallels to our life. Comic books were always a reflection of our society and our lives. Science fiction has always been a futurism of what's going on in our lives and what's going on our planet. That's how it's always been. Most writers and artists put themselves and put their real experiences in their art, in their writing, in their comics. It's not until now that people just don't want it. They want to be devoid of any kind of thinking. They just want escapism. I don't want just escapism. I don't have anything to escape to because I live in the real world. The real world is around me 24 hours a day. I like living in the real world. I like being informed and know what's going on. I like learning new things. So the idea that people live in this stasis of if it's real people doing real things, then telling about real history and real lessons, then people just tune out and they don't want to hear it. But then if you put it with some aliens and superheroes, then people want to hear it. That's not a flaw of American cinema. That's not a flaw of the writers. That's not a flaw of producers. That's a flaw of the fucking audiences. American audience. That's you. That's not these people. That's you. If you're watching a movie and you don't want to learn no lessons, you don't want to learn anything, look, you need to do some soul search, some motherfucking soul searching. If you want to live and watch entertainment and live in a non-learning state and you want to be soulless, you want to be a soulless asshole, that's on you. I'm not a soulless asshole. I like to learn things. I don't feel guilty for the past. I want to learn from the past and move on from it. My kids are biracial. They don't feel guilty about their white ancestors doing dirt. They learn from it and say that if they did dirt, then they shouldn't have been doing that dirt. And some of them didn't know better. And we need to learn from it and fuck them and move on. That's just how it goes. So I don't want anybody telling me about go woke, stay broke, and all that shit because y'all don't want diversity. Y'all don't want to learn anything. Y'all don't want to learn about other people's stories and narratives. And I do. I'm not gay. I don't have any gay people. I don't have any gay close friends. But guess what? I go watch a gay movie, a gay romance in a motherfucking minute. Why? Because I want to know, how do gay people, how do they view romance? How is it gay? I used to watch the L Word. I used to watch Queer as Folk, RuPaul's Drag Race, all of it. I have no problem watching a movie about trans or gay or any kind of people because I want to know how the other half lives. I don't want to be talking out the side of my neck like I know about what trans people go through. I'm not transgender. I don't know any transgender people. I ain't got no transgender people in my family. So how the fuck am I supposed to know about what transgender people do and don't do? What? Because some fucking assholes who hate gay people telling me shit about them? I don't want to know what. I don't know what. It's like somebody. It's like somebody who hates black people gonna tell me about black people. What fucking sense does that even fucking make? Like what sense does that make? Why would I let somebody who's anti-gay tell me something about gay people? Why would I let somebody anti-black who's a KKK member tell me something about black people? What the fuck sense does that make? I don't want you to tell me. I'm going to find out on my own. I'm going to discover things on my own, the best of my abilities. So entertainment is one way of discovering other people, other places, other things that I can't visit, that I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Then it makes me go online and discover more things and ask real transgender, real gay people. I subscribe to transgenders YouTube channels because I want to know what y'all go through. Because I'm curious. I'm not trying to hate on nobody. I just want to know. I want to relate to somebody at a human being level because I'm a fucking human being at the end of the day. I'm a fucking human being. I'm not sitting in judge on top of no lofty stand and judge of no fucking body. I'm not in a position to judge nobody. I'm just in a position to learn. I'm a learner. I like to spread knowledge. I'm a storyteller, but I'm a learner. That's how I was raised. That's how I raised my children. Learn about people, honey. Why do people do this and this? Well, let's look it up. Why does this culture do such a? Let's look it up. I'm not going to sit there and tell you, blow smoke up my kid's ass and just tell them shit. Well, I think that, let's look it up. We live in an age of information. There's no excuse anymore for people to be bigoted, for people to be homophobic, for people to be anti-women, anti-nothing. Because we live in a society where whatever you want and you need to find out, you can go ask somebody, you can find a person, you can ask a person's experiences and gather your knowledge. But people just lazy and they don't want to. People don't want to be reminded that what? Life sucks? It does. Our society sucks? It does. So my question is, what are you going to do about it? Burying your head in the sand and using escapism is not the way for us to do anything about anything. That's the problem now, that people want to bury their head in the sand and not deal with anything, or have their own preconceived notions and they don't want to be challenged on their thinking. I like to be challenged. I'm like, bring it. Just bring it. Because I've run a whole spectrum of life. I've lived a whole life. I used to be a hardcore religious person. I was in a cult. Okay. I've been there. I know more about the Bible than most people know about anything. I know more about religions. I know when people hear me talk about Islam and Muslims, I've dated somebody who was Islamic Muslim. I thought about converting. I read the Quran. I've been there. I've dated somebody who was a Mormon. I've read the Book of Mormon. I know lots about Mormons. So there's other religions out there, but those are the things that I know about. I don't just sit in judgment of people and be like, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's because I've gotten to know people of certain faith and religion. So when I talk about certain things, people are like, oh my God, you really know what you're talking about? Yeah, because I have life experiences. But I put myself out there to have those life experiences. So when you go watch Avatar, look a little deeper. Ooh, wee, pretty land, Pandora. Ooh, fluorescent light. What is the story saying? Who are these people? Why they got braids in their head? That's what my kids say. My daughter got braids. She's like, well, I got braids. They got braids too. Are these supposed to be black people? Told my ear, you tell me. Shit. I like, you tell me. GSB said you got a great mind, Kiki. My kids, they like, mom, they don't realize that they haven't got to that age where they, but I tell them things all the time and I try to teach them things. Hopefully it absorbs it. And then my son will come back and say to me certain things. And I'm like, yes. What I say, he just rolls his eyes at sometimes, but then he'd be like, well, how are we talking about this? What is it? I always lecture my children on something and they're like, oh my God. But then they'll come back months later and they'll repeat. They'll be like, well, it's because da 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 da. And I was like, oh shit, y'all really do listen. I'm amazed that they don't listen to their mama. But they listen, and they absorb. I try to say things and hopefully it'll sink in. Because I'm trying to raise kids that are going to do better than me, that are going to be out in this world and interacting with other people. And my kids are not afraid. My kids are not afraid of other people. They're not intimidated by other people. They don't care about queer or trans people. It don't faze them. Black, white, Hispanic, Indian, Asian, Christian, it don't faze them. They just like, okay. There's no sense of fear or intimidation there. Like they're scared of other people or scared to know about. They know about things already because they have to be taught. I had to learn everything that I knew. I wasn't born like this. I had to go on a journey of discovery. And so to learn things, and I'm still learning every day. Every day I'm learning. Every day I'm reading, learning. It's going to be a lifelong thing. I like to learn. I try to tell my son, stay curious. Be curious about other things in other places because it'll take you to places that you never thought you'd been. I've been to Indian weddings. I've been to a Jewish wedding. I've been to a Muslim wedding. I've been to all different kinds of weddings, y'all. Why? Because when my friend, like I said, my friend that I used to work with at Chase, was Indian, and she was inviting everybody to her wedding, and people were like, "Oh, I'm not gonna go to this, but I don't know how Indians do their wedding." I said, "Well, shit, give me the invitation. I want to know how Indian do their wedding." Well, Keisha, you're gonna go? Fuck yeah, I'm gonna go. Why? Well, I don't know. I ain't never been around there like this. Neither have I, but I'm going. And I sure in the hell went to that damn wedding. And that food was spicy as hell because I don't like spicy food. But it was one of the most beautiful things, most extravagant things. She was wearing red and she had a ring in her nose and it connected and she looked like a princess. And I was like, this is where it's at. Shit, I want a wedding. I want a wedding like this here, motherfuckers. Like it was just, and then her husband was dressed in this outfit that was gold. It was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in an Indian wedding. It was, and the people were dancing and singing and clapping, and I was clapping. I didn't understand what the hell was going on, but I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. It was the most beautiful thing. But again, the other people we work with, they wouldn't go because they were like, well, I don't know. I ain't never been. Who cares? I'm going. If you invite me to your wedding, I'm going. Kiki gonna show up with a bottle of wine in her hand and be like, let's get this party started, motherfuckers. I've been to a gay wedding. I've been to a country wedding. I've been to all kinds of weddings. You know, I like weddings. I really like weddings, y'all. Not mine, because I ain't getting married again. But I've never had a wedding. So maybe I'm just living through other people. I've been married, but I never had a wedding. But I love weddings. And so, you know, to go to someone that has a cultural wedding is one of the most awesomest things I suggest people go. Like, you know, anybody want to invite me to they Muslim, their Jewish wedding? Hey, I've been to a bar mitzvah. Mazel tov. Been to a bar mitzvah too. One of my friends in high school had one of my friends in school when she was 13 had a bar mitzvah, and I went to it. I was like, "What? Mazel tov, bitches!" Like I'm gone. Like okay, I'll go. You know, I try to keep a open mind from a little girl from the hood. You know, I've come a long way, but I was a curious child, and so I don't know. It's just something I was born with because nobody in my family really is like me. Really, not too much. My mom is like me. She like me. We have the same mindset. We're very practical people, but um, my sense of diversity is just I don't know. It's just something I was born with, I guess you could say. But I just tell people when watching this movie, go in with an open mind, see things the way they're supposed to be seen, the way James Cameron wants you to see the world, apparently, and the way he sees the world is just awesome. It's a thing to behold. So I really thoroughly enjoyed this movie. So, but that's my rant for today. It's my last video. I'm gonna do the Glass Onion tomorrow. What I thought about the Glass Onion. That'll be a short, probably like 20-minute video. There's not much to the Glass Onion. It's good. It's good, y'all. But there's little things to it that I've noticed and observed. But it's not Glass Onion is not political or anything like that. So it's just a good storytelling and good directing by Ryan Johnson. So we'll do the Glass Onion tomorrow. Tomorrow will be Christmas. I'll try to get it in tomorrow because today I have a busy day. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa to all y'all. Y'all go watch my other videos. I did go to a Kwanzaa thing. I got another Kwanzaa thing to go to. Y'all can see my videos and my shorts of me and my kids at this Kwanzaa celebration. And I'll probably do a live stream of my kids opening presents and acting like fools. So we'll see. Yeah, I went to a quinceañera. I've been to two of those because my daughter, she wants a quinceañera because my kids are like triracial. My kids are Black, German and Czech, and Mexican. So my kids are triracial. They have the best of three worlds. And my daughter will probably have a quinceañera. She probably will have one when she hits to be 15. So she'll probably have one of those. But we'll see. We'll see. You know, your mama won't pay for all that. Your mama got to pay for all that. I told the kids, ain't no Santa Claus. It's Mommy Claus. But anyway, hope y'all have a great Christmas Eve. Y'all have a great day. I'm going to try to get me something to eat. I'm going to try to work out. I will do an update. I will do it. I've been trying to do this fitness weight loss update. I've been trying to do this forever. I promise y'all I'm going to get to it before the New Year's. I'm planning out something because I know New Year's coming up and y'all gonna try to get y'all sexy on. And that's the time when everybody starts working out. The holidays are over. You ate all the ham and the turkey and the pie and the candy. So I know January 1st coming. Everybody's starting their workout goals and their workout plans. And so that's when I decided to postpone and do my video about my weight loss journey, my fitness journey. I am having back problems right now, y'all. So it is not been good. I have an appointment with my surgeon, but I am having back pain, like massive back pain. Like yesterday, I could barely get up the stairs without my son's help. I've never experienced this much pain besides before I had surgery 2 years ago. So I had pelvic surgery. I have rods in my spine. I had spinal surgery. I had some vertebrae removed and replaced. My discs are wore down. So I have disc degeneration, scoliosis, and I have spinal issues because my spine is really curved. Um, so I'm kind of worried, y'all. I mean, you can see the worry. I'm kind of worried because I've never felt this much pain besides when before I had surgery, and it's been gradual. Like over the past 5 days, I'm starting to hurt more and more and more. I'm still trying to exercise and work out slowly and low impact, and just kind of like jog in place or walk in place. It's too cold for me to get out here and walk. It's 21 degrees today. So I ain't going out there walking, but I will update y'all. We'll do a health thing at the beginning of the year, like a health, maybe a few videos about my exercise routine and my health. And hopefully by then, maybe I just pulled something or tweaked something. If you ever had sciatic nerve pain, it's like that's how I feel. I have sciatic nerve pain times 10. Like I know what nerve pain is, and it feels like my spine is sitting on my sciatic nerve again. So hopefully I didn't pop a screw, pop a screw, pop a screw. Let me stop. Or there's a pop a screw, pop. Well, hopefully I didn't pop a screw or something that's loose in my back. That's my biggest worry. Like I can deal with some nerve damage or maybe I pulled something or tweaked something. I can deal with that, but I can't deal with another surgery. That surgery was the hardest surgery I've ever had in my life. Spinal surgery. It's the same surgery that Tiger Woods had, by the way. Like I said, I have spinal stenosis, I have disc degeneration, I have scoliosis. I have all three conditions. It's a miracle that I'm up walking and running around. So I'm grateful for that, but I can't lose my mobility. I'm a very active person. I don't want to lose my mobility. So that's the whole thing. And anyway, and I got orders I got to do today. I'm still working, y'all. I'm on vacation from my work, but my Etsy shop, I have soaps to do. I have things to do. New Year's is coming up. Valentine's Day is coming up. I have all kinds of products, all kinds of things I'm designing. It's Capricorn season, bitches. I know you Capricorns are out there. Y'all running shit. Y'all think y'all running shit. I have 4 Capricorns in my life. 4. And y'all think y'all know better. Y'all bosses. Y'all think y'all know better than everybody else. Whatever, Capricorns. Whatever. But I do have Capricorn candles, products, keychains, stuff up on my Etsy shop. So whatever, y'all. But we'll get through this. Slowly but surely getting through this year. Like I said, trying to catch up my videos. And Geo is about to get started. Well, like at 10:30, 10:15, something like that. So I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning. So, we'll see how I go. See if I can make it. Oh, we'll see if I can make it. If I can make if I can make Geo's show at 10:15, I'll try. If I'm not doing anything crazy. But anyway, y'all, thanks you guys for showing up, listening. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to this video. And y'all have a great Christmas and a Happy New Year. If I don't see you until then, but I'm trying to come back. But that's about it, y'all. Y'all have a good day.